my feeling is it has unlimited capacity, okay, because it was upgraded, okay? And I know he was not able to use the three-phase power in his local area because the three-phase power couldn't handle it, okay? So that's a significant investment that Mr. DePasquale made on the Breed Farm.
Lots to do in biz.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you very much for coming forward.
Thank you.
Any other public comments tonight? Anything at all? Yes, ma'am. Come on forward for the record. Good evening, Mrs. Ferry. Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Shibley and town council members. I know it hasn't been that long since I was in front of you, so thank you for allowing me time to speak. Linda Ferry, 6109 Flat River Road. So here we are again, asking for your consideration regarding the impact of solar farms in our non-business, non-commercial District 1. I would ask you to sincerely think of the residents more than the developers. We residents of Coventry are very lucky. We have a lot more than most cities and towns. Our different neighborhoods make us unique with a little bit of everything. The most beautiful part of the bike path in the entire state is the part that runs through our western end. It is there for everyone to enjoy. However, our rural district is being faced with one assault after another. I find it interesting that we are a town that has an established Coventry Land Trust. And for those of you who may not be aware, part of the mission statement of the Coventry Land Trust reads as follows: to protect Coventry's open space for future generations, to conserve and protect environmentally sensitive lands and natural resources, to educate residents and the general public regarding the need for land and resource conservation. My question is, why do we even have a land trust if its mission is simply ignored? At the last Coventry Planning Commission work session, Mr. Kearns from the Rhode Island Office of Energy Resources made a presentation on solar projects. Mr. Crossman asked him if he was aware of any health or environmental concerns regarding solar projects. He simply answered no. That was all he had to say, was no. But before I left to come here tonight, I emailed each one of you a list of several research articles with their e-links that address that exact question. I apologize to the members of the planning zone who are here tonight and may hear repetitious material information, but I would ask the council to please bear with me, and I will only highlight a few that I think are significant. Number one, these are all different research articles. Keep solar farms away from residential areas. And again, the e-links I have forwarded to you. Number two, solar is booming, but solar parks could have unintended climate consequences. Number three, solar energy development environmental considerations. Number four, solar farms, bad for the environment. And in that particular article it says why. Because they use up natural ground cover, they eliminate vegetation and trees that naturally clean the air, and they invade natural animal habitat. Number five, new report sheds light on health and safety considerations for solar technologies. Number six, solar energy can be a health hazard. Number seven, anything can go wrong on a solar farm. And if you research that, you can see pictures of fires and dead birds and a variety of other things. Number eight, danger. Solar panels can be hazardous to your health. Number nine, solar energy health effects on humans, such as solar panels can get people and animals sick from electromagnetic radiation, even in small amounts. Research suggests that this type of radiation from solar can cause long-term effects in otherwise healthy people and ADHD in school-age children. Just like wind turbines create infrasound, inaudible vibrations which make people and animals sick. Number 10, the harmful effects of EMF, which is electromagnetic radiation. Number 11, environmental impacts of solar power. Number 12, potential environmental impacts and obstacles of solar energy. Number 13, solar farms encroach on the environment because that article stresses how rural land supports clean water and natural habitats, so why would we want to destroy it? Number 14, the smartest place to build solar farms, toxic Superfund sites. Why? Because it's already contaminated. 15, why it makes sense to put solar farms on old landfill sites. 16, installing solar on landfills. 17, solar power installations on contaminated lands. 18, siting renewable energy on contaminated lands. 19, contaminated lands become more attractive for solar projects. 20, I will stop at this one, smartest place to build solar farms, toxic Superfund sites. Which brings me back to number 1, keep solar farms away from residential areas. Why on earth would anyone want to support destroying natural habitat when we already have many more appropriate sites in Coventry? It just doesn't make any sense. It also doesn't make sense to obtain the attitude, well, at least you can't see them. But that would be turning a blind eye and letting the next generation suffer the consequences. The last time I stood before you, I asked you to consider what would happen if a wind turbine or a solar farm were to be proposed to be placed in the cornfield in front of Wood Estates. Well, now I would ask you to also consider this. At the Coventry Planning Commission meeting last week, a group of residents from the Crompton Road and New London Turnpike neighborhood strongly opposed the housing complex called Crompton Meadows to be placed on 21 acres in their neighborhood. If that development were to be denied, and 21 acres all of a sudden became available to a developer for a wind turbine or a solar farm, I think these same residents would come forward with the same concerns that those of us in the western end of town have. I mean no disrespect to anyone when I say this, but if some officials consider putting a solar farm out in the middle of nowhere, justification just because it impacts less people, then that official would be biased toward a certain classification of residents. We may be less in numbers, but we are still people, we are still Coventry residents, we are impacted by these projects, and we deserve to know that our elected officials care about our welfare just like any other neighborhood in Coventry. Finally,
Thank you.
Finally,
We've given you 10 minutes, and we've got this all on email, right?
no, this you don't. One paragraph.
All right, one more minute.
One paragraph.
All right.
Len. Finally, I'd like to finish with this. Last December, I attended a listening session that Mr. Waters and Superintendent Levis had held for District 1 at the Green Library. Present at that meeting was a school committee representative from a different district. She felt like she needed to explain why she was at a District 1 meeting when she represented a different district. And she said this by saying, the way I look at it, I don't work for only the students of my district, I work for the residents of every district. I work for all the students of Coventry. Should that not be what we expect as well from all our elected and appointed officials? I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me go on.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Have a good evening. Anyone else? Public comment before we wrap it up tonight? Public comment? You've already spoken once. Anyone else first? Anyone else? Okay, come on up, sir. One more time. Something to add?
This is in response to this woman that just got up and spoke.
Be brief, because
Okay.
we'll discuss it later.
Okay. I have never heard of anything, any objections, which she just said about, especially the one about fire. National Electric Code, NEMA, and I'm sorry, not NEMA. National Electric Code requires arc fault detection devices on commercial systems, okay? There has never been a fire, okay, a 1 acre or half an acre or 2 acres or 4 acre fire of solar in the United States. There's never been a documented person being electrocuted from solar in the United States. I've never heard of this glare. There is no glare. Most solar panels are non-glare. We put them next to airports all the time. It's not an issue. okay, unless you're flying over a helicopter.
Thank you, sir, for additional comments. All right, any other comments? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Anyone have a good evening, drive home.